Picture this. You're 26. Rent's due in 4 days. Your banking app takes 3 whole seconds to load because deep down, even the app doesn't want to see the number. And somewhere in your head, a tiny proud voice reminds you that you got an A in calculus. Congratulations. None of that math is helping you right now. That's the joke nobody warns you about. Being smart with numbers and being smart with money turned out to be 2 completely different skills. And nobody sent the memo until you were already eating cereal for dinner on a Tuesday, calling it minimalist. This whole video comes down to one truth. Money is not a math problem. If it were, every engineer would retire at 40 and every accountant would own a yacht. It's a behavior problem wearing a math costume. Your brain, through no fault of your own, wants the candy bar today, not the retirement account in 30 years. That wiring doesn't care how smart you are. It just makes you really good at explaining why you deserve that purchase, using words like self-care and I've earned this. This matters because most money advice out there talks to you like you're a robot, always calm, always logical, always making the perfect choice. You're not. You're a person who sometimes buys a $14 smoothie while actively stressing about rent. And that's not you being dumb, that's just being human in a world built to separate you from your money as smoothly as possible. Every app on your phone, every ad, every limited time offer was made by someone whose entire job is making spending feel like winning. So this is the plan for the next 20-something minutes. Not manifestation, not vibes, not some guy in a rented sports car yelling about mindsets. A real, useful guide. Budgeting, emergency funds, debt, credit, investing, retirement, side income, real estate versus stocks, and the myths that quietly wreck people who never got the truth. Think of it less like a lecture and more like a friend who's a little annoyed you didn't figure this out 5 years ago, walking you through it properly once so you don't learn it the hard, expensive way. No fluff. Let's go. First stop, and I promise it gets less boring from here. Budgeting. The word alone sounds like punishment, like someone's about to take away your coffee and your dignity in the same sentence. It's really not that dramatic. A budget is just you deciding where your money goes before your money decides for you, which, spoiler, it's already doing, and not very well. Forget the 50-tab spreadsheet your uncle swears by, the one with color-coded sections for stuff like extra. The version that actually works in real life is really simple. 50% of what you take home goes to needs, rent, food, bills, the boring stuff that keeps the lights on and you alive. 30% goes to wants, the fun stuff, and yes, that includes coffee. Nobody's taking your coffee. 20% goes to savings and paying off debt. The part everyone somehow forgets exists until they're 40 and panicking. The part nobody explains properly is this: that 20% needs to move the moment your paycheck lands, not whatever's left at the end of the month. Because whatever's left is always, somehow, exactly zero. That's not bad luck. That's just how humans work with money. The same reason a buffet makes people eat past full. And budgeting on purpose is you fixing that before your bank account fixes it for you. Usually with a fee attached as a bonus. You don't need an app that costs $9 a month to track $11 a coffee. You need one number you check every week and the discipline to move your money before you even see it. Because money you never see is money you never miss. Next up, the least exciting topic in all of money stuff, which is exactly why most people skip it and regret it big time later: the emergency fund. An emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of your basic costs, sitting in a plain savings account, earning a little interest, doing nothing exciting, just existing so that when your car breaks down, or you lose your job, or your landlord decides your rent is now a personality test, you don't have to put it on a credit card at 20-something% interest and cry about it for the next 2 years. This is the least postable part of money management. Nobody shares a story of themselves staring lovingly at a savings balance. But one pattern keeps showing up. Most money disasters aren't caused by one bad investment. They're caused by an ordinary bad month, a broken laptop, a surprise medical bill, hitting at the same time as zero savings. The emergency isn't really the emergency. Not having a buffer is. A lot of people, if you ask around honestly, would struggle to cover even a small surprise expense without borrowing or selling something. That's not a math problem, it's a buffer problem. You don't need to build this overnight, and you don't need 6 months saved before it counts as progress. Start with $500, then 1 month of cost, then 3, then 6. You're not trying to become some villain guarding a vault of cash. You're just building a shock absorber. So life's bumps stay bumps instead of turning into full-blown financial crashes. Now the part that makes people's stomachs actually hurt. Debt. Quick heads up before you panic, not all debt is the same. A mortgage, or a normal student loan, is a slow, fairly polite kind of debt. It shows up, does its thing over decades, and mostly behaves. Credit card debt is the kind that breaks in through the window at 3 a.m. Average credit card interest rates sit above 20%, sometimes closer to 30%, which means if you're only making minimum payments, you're basically renting money at a price that should be illegal. One number should genuinely bother you. $5,000 on a card at around 22% interest, paying only the minimum, can take over a decade to pay off. By the time it's gone, you'll have paid more in interest than the thing you bought was even worth. That affordable purchase from 2 years ago might be costing you double right now. So how do you actually get rid of it? 2 popular ways. The avalanche method. Pay off the highest interest debt first, everything else gets the minimum. It's the smartest option on paper, saves you the most money. The snowball method. Pay off the smallest balance first, no matter the interest rate. Because crossing something off your list completely feels good, and that feeling keeps you going. Math people will tell you avalanche wins on paper. People who've actually paid off real debt will tell you the method you'll stick with beats the method that's perfect on paper. Because a perfect plan you give up on in month 2 loses to a decent plan you actually finish. Either way, step 1 is the same and it's not optional. Stop adding new debt while you're still paying off the old debt. That's not you lacking willpower, that's just basic logic. You can't fill a bucket that still has a hole in the bottom. While we're on uncomfortable topics, let's talk about the number everyone's heard of and almost nobody actually understands. Your credit score. It's a 3-digit number that quietly decides whether banks see you as reliable or as a walking red flag. And it changes your interest rate on almost everything. Cars, homes, sometimes even renting an apartment or getting a phone plan. The good part is the formula isn't some secret code locked away somewhere. Paying on time every time is the biggest factor, full stop. Keeping your balance low compared to your limit is the second biggest. Ideally using less than 30% of what you're allowed to spend. Keeping old accounts open matters too, because how long you've had credit counts in your favor. Closing your first card doesn't erase its past, it just erases its health. And one thing people never expect. Opening 5 new cards in one wild weekend because you were bored, or a store offered 10% off, actually hurts your score. Because it looks like sudden desperation for credit, even if you just wanted a discount on a jacket. None of this needs a finance degree, a credit monitoring app, or some guy online selling you a credit hack. It just needs consistency. Pay on time, keep your balance low, be patient with old accounts. Less exciting than a hack. Works a lot better than every hack combined. Now the part that actually makes money while you sleep, and occasionally costs you sleep too. Investing. If there's one fact in this whole video that matters more than everything else combined, it's compound interest. Say you invest $200 a month starting at 25, and the market does roughly what it's done long-term historically, around 7% a year after inflation. By 65, you're looking at close to $500,000. Now do the exact same thing, same amount, same effort, but start at 35 instead. You end up with less than half that. Same monthly habit, same everything. The only difference is 10 years, and it costs you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. Time isn't just helpful in investing. Time does most of the work, and it's the one thing you can't buy back later no matter how much money you eventually make. You don't need to become some genius who reads company reports for fun. Index funds let regular people own a small piece of the whole market, hundreds of companies at once, without needing to guess which single one blows up big. It's boring on purpose. And boring is exactly what you want your money doing, because exciting investing usually comes with an expensive lesson attached. The biggest mistake isn't picking the wrong fund, it's waiting for the right time to start, which never actually comes, because there's always some reason the market feels scary that month. Nobody, and I mean nobody, keeps getting the timing right. Being consistent beats being perfectly timed every single time. Not exciting advice, but true. And it doesn't require trusting some stranger with a rented sports car. Speaking of time being the whole game, let's talk about the thing that feels impossibly far away right up until it isn't. Retirement. If your job offers any kind of retirement match, meaning your employer adds extra money to your account just for you joining in, that's not a nice bonus. That's free money already meant for you. And skipping it is like leaving cash on a table and then complaining you're broke later that same day. Even without a match, retirement accounts usually come with tax perks. Regular investing accounts don't have, so the same dollar works harder for you over the years. The tough part nobody puts on a motivational poster is this. Waiting doesn't cost you a little more each year, it costs you a lot more each year, because growth needs time way more than it needs big amounts of money. A 22-year-old putting in a small amount regularly will often end up ahead of a 35-year-old putting in a lot, purely because of the extra years they had. Future you is being decided right now by present you. And present you hasn't historically been great at putting someone they haven't met yet first. You don't need to put in some huge amount starting today. You need to start something today, even if it's small, because the version of you at 65 won't care that the 25-year-old version only put in $50 a month. They'll just care that the 25-year-old version actually started. Let's switch from growing what you already have to growing what's coming in the first place. Side hustles and extra income. Cutting spending has a limit. You can only cancel so many subscriptions and skip so much coffee before you're just not doing anything fun anymore, and that's not a plan. That's just a sad Tuesday. Growing your income has no limit. A second income, freelancing on the side, a small business, making content, selling a skill you already have but never used to make money does two things at once. It speeds up every other goal we've talked about, the emergency fund, paying off debt, investing, all of it moves faster. And it protects you if your main income ever disappears. Because relying on exactly one paycheck is like standing on a chair with one leg and hoping for the best. This isn't a push to work 19-hour days chasing an extra $50 until you burn out and hate everything. It's about treating your actual skills like something valuable, not just something you trade for a paycheck 9 to 5. The people with real financial freedom usually aren't the ones with the single highest salary in the room. They're the ones with more than one way money can reach them. So if one path closes, they're not stuck in the dark. Now for the debate that started arguments at pretty much every family dinner ever. Real estate versus stocks. Real estate is something you can touch. You can live in it, rent it out, and watch it grow in value over the years. But it comes with big upfront costs, ongoing repairs, tenants calling you at midnight about a leaking tap. And it's hard to turn into quick cash since you can't sell one bedroom to cover a surprise expense. The whole house has to go. Stocks, especially index funds, turn into cash easily, come with zero midnight calls about taps, and have historically given strong long-term returns without you fixing a single thing yourself. The honest answer, the one that doesn't get clicks, is that it's not really either or, and there's no one right choice for everyone. Real estate can build wealth by using the bank's money to control something valuable, plus rental income on top. Stocks build wealth through simplicity, letting your money grow with barely any ongoing effort or stress. What actually decides which one is better for you is which one you'll actually stick with without panic selling or panic buying. Because the best plan on paper is worthless if you drop it the moment things get rough for a while. If you can only start with one, pick the one with the lower cost to get into and the smaller chance you'll freak out and quit during a rough patch. For most people starting out, that's usually the index fund, not the mortgage. But that's a most people answer, not necessarily a you answer. Last stop before we wrap up, the myths that quietly wreck people's money while sounding totally reasonable. Myth 1. Rich and wealthy mean the same thing. They don't, and mixing them up is expensive. Rich looks like the flashy car and the expensive dinner, posted at just the right angle. Wealthy means having enough that you genuinely don't need to check your bank balance before ordering dessert. A lot of people who look rich are quietly one missed paycheck away from disaster because most of what they earned went into looking like they already had it. Myth 2. Lifestyle creep is harmless. Every raise whispers, upgrade something. A bigger place, a nicer car, a fancier gym. If you listen every single time, your spending grows exactly as fast as your income does, which means you never actually get ahead. You just get a nicer treadmill while staying in the exact same spot. Myth 3. There's a secret shortcut out there nobody's telling you about. There isn't. Any message promising to double your money by next month isn't a strategy. It's a costume worn by a scam. And if it sounds too good to be true, that's because someone already did the math, and it wasn't in your favor. So everything we covered, in one line you can actually use. Budget on purpose, build a cushion before you need it, kill high-interest debt before it kills your options. Protect your credit score with boring consistency. Invest early and keep it boring. Start retirement now instead of eventually. Build more than one way money can reach you. Pick real estate or stocks based on what you'll actually stick with, and stop looking for shortcuts that don't exist. None of this is flashy. None of it's gonna trend anywhere. But it's the real playbook, the one nobody handed you earlier. And now, one way or another, you've got it. If you actually learned something in the last 25 minutes, and this wasn't just playing in the background while you scrolled something else, hit like. It takes 1 second, costs you nothing, and somehow decides whether this video gets shown to anyone else who actually needs it. Don't ask me why, that's just how it works now. If you want more of this, real finance talk without the fake smile and the yacht in the background, stick around. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because otherwise you'll forget this channel exists in about 9 days. That's not an insult. That's just how algorithms and human memory both work. Drop a comment too. Tell me which part actually helped, or which part you already knew and felt a little proud about, or which part you're doing wrong right now and don't want to admit. I read these, mostly to see who's lying about their budget. And if you know someone who still calls minimum payments a plan, or thinks a budget is something only sad people make, send them this video instead of just telling them to sort their finances out. Vague advice never fixed anyone's bank account. This might. If you want the next one, there's already a video waiting for you right there, and yes, watching it counts as helping the channel too. So really, staying is the easy option. That's genuinely it. No fake countdown, no discount code, no forced excitement, just good information and a small favor if it actually helped. See you in the next one.